a horizontal strain, but I'm honestly gonna have to like try and figure it out for next time. But hi y'all, how are y'all doing? I'm trying to stick to my promise of during doing one live stream a week. Maybe eventually we'll get it back up to two, but I can easily do one right now, so that's what I am going to stick with. I also can't see myself today, which is very, very strange. So I'm going to basically be like really relying on like my mod. I can see the chat, but I think it is gonna be delayed on my end. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna be changing my bat, chit chatting. I want to like talk about just some new things that I plan on doing with stream too, because I think that's going to be really, really fun. Um, it's Sunday, so that means like the week starts back up on Monday. I don't have much planned for this week, honestly. The past 2 weeks have been extremely, extremely chill for me, and I am very, very happy, honestly, that it's been that way. Let me just make sure that I can see everything that is in the stream, on the stream, going on. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. Should I set a goal? I don't know. We'll get around to it. Until then, we're gonna prep everything that I need, all of my supplies. I have most of everything kind of out already because I grabbed some things before I got started. But here's my bag. I need my scissors. Here's my wound cleaner spray. All of that. My adhesive remover spray. And I need my scissors. Oop, and a trash bag. Oh, those were my it has to some if we're talking about, are you talking about the area like around your stoma? It's very weird not being able to see myself. So when I look at the chat, I'm looking down at like another screen that I have down here. But let's pre-cut my barrier. So you can use like ostomy powder. Do I even have any in here? Yeah. Stuff like this, ostomy powder when you're changing your bags. This marathon skin prep is really good too at helping if you have like some irritation that's really stubborn, it won't clear up. Ultimately, I just recommend talking to like your ostomy nurse or your wound care nurse and just seeing what kind of tips that they can offer you. I know some wound care nurses are not as hands-on as some other ones. But those two things generally work for me when I've had really bad irritation in the past. Now I don't really use either of them. I kind of just make sure I'm changing my bag like a little bit more frequently than I'm already doing. And typically my skin irritation clears up after a few days. But we are cutting my barrier. I cut mine at, I should have showed you guys before I cut it. But for mine that aren't pre-cut, I have some that are already cut. But for the ones that aren't, I cut it at 25. No problem. I like to close my bag so that I won't accidentally forget to close it after I'm already done because we do not want those problems. But again, I use a two-piece bag, and it's very ironic. I was having like a conversation like about a week ago now, just about like when I'm super busy and I'm at conferences, I always want to do a live where I'm like in the location and like talking through my bag chain, like what's going on at the conference. But I'm always so busy or so tired. But a really cool feature of the two-piece bags is that I can just change this part when I feel like it looks too worn. Mine is an ileostomy bag, not a colostomy bag. And I feel like this part is too worn, then I can just change the front part and that works. This is a barrier ring, and the easiest way for me to describe this is that this is like a plumbing system to kind of use to stop any poop from like leaking onto my barrier and like loosening this, similar to like the putty that you'll put on like a pipe, and it helps the water from leaking. This does basically the same thing, and I like to stretch the ring to be a little bit smaller than my barrier hole, the 25 that I cut, and then I just curve the insides around and into. If you're coming in, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like the live. In a little bit, I am going to announce our new subscriber goal. I'm also going to post it in the community tab later on this evening. But our new subscriber goal, and basically what happens if we hit the subscriber goal, then I will let you guys name my stoma with me. Or maybe I'll just post it in the community tab. So you have to subscribe, so then you'll know when that you could what goal you have to hit in order to name my stoma with me. Because I just want to make sure that everything is like in place on my account to do that. And then something else that's exciting. It's only 15 of you guys in here that I can see on my end. I don't know, because I can't see my phone to like see the live number, but we're going to be doing something different too for like the next lives coming up. So just stick around and you guys will get all that information. But this is the time for my trigger warnings. If you're watching right now, make sure you're liking, because I am about to take off my bag and I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So if you hear me loud and clear and you want me to keep going and you're just along for the ride, make sure you're liking the live. Yes, the bag has poop in it. I'm about to take this off and I'm about to put on a clean, fresh new bag right after I put lubricating deodorant in this one. But my mod is also going to drop the trigger warnings in the chat. In general, if I can't see my likes from the screen that I'm looking at right now, but my mod will let me know how those look, and I'm pretty sure we need to get them up. So if you're watching right now, like the screen. In general, I like for my ratio to look really good. And if I don't like my ratio, I go into super chat only mode, which basically means you guys will still be able to talk among yourselves in the chat, but I'll only answer questions that are super chatted to me. So I'll let you guys know if we're going into that before I take off my bag. So the best way to not go into that mode is to like the live and keep my ratio looking good. But back to the trigger warning. I will let that lubricating deodorant kind of just sit and move around in there for a second. But if you don't want to see intestines, insides on the outside, poop, a little bit of red bodily fluids, I don't really say that word on my too much, but a little bit of that, maybe some skin irritation. I haven't changed my bag in a few days now. Then this is not the live for you. I appreciate you hanging out with me, but you don't have to stick around. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So this is your sign to exit. If you are, oops, I dropped something. If you are sticking around, keep the chat very cute. I answer questions. I answer questions, and I'm as open as I feel like I can be with the current crowd that I have. Again, I can't see how many people I have in here right now. Let me just double check. I should have grabbed my tablet before I came in here, because this is like a very back-ended view of everything. Okay, still can't see it, but yeah, under here is my stoma. I am not in any pain. This doesn't hurt. None of those questions. And you guys I'll see questions. Sometimes I won't answer all the questions I see. A lot of the frequently asked questions are linked in the description of this live. Sometimes I don't see questions, or my mom will answer questions. My mom can answer questions. So if she answers it, then take that as your answer. Please don't like spam it in the comments, because 9 out of 10 I'm not going to answer it. But yes, to kind of preface everything before I take off my bag, continue liking the stream. I appreciate you guys liking. I have Crohn's. It's a type of autoimmune disease. It's the big umbrella term is inflammatory bowel disease, and there's like smaller like subsections. Crohn's is one of those subsections. My entire colon was inflamed at the time of my diagnosis. None of the popular medications on the market worked for me. So I decided to undergo like a surgical treatment process. And in that treatment process, it was around 6 or 7 surgeries. And I got my colon removed, I got my rectum removed, and I got a little piece of my small intestine pulled through my abdominal wall. And that created something called a stoma, which is like this little pink thing that you guys will see once I take off my bag. Again, I am not in any pain. This doesn't hurt me at all. I am fine. I am the healthiest I've ever been in like 5 years. So let's get started. And before I take this off, Maud, are we going? I'll let my Maud be the deciding person, because I do see some questions coming in already. Some of them I just answered. But Maud, should we go in super chat only mode? I'll wait till I see my Maud's answer come through. Hi. We're about to take off my bag. This is adhesive remover spray, and it's basically, literally it's in the name. It removes the adhesive around this barrier and just helps me peel off the bag without tugging on my skin excessively. Oh, thank you, Miss K. Yes, Kayla. Okay, so we are going to go in super chat only mode. Really, what this means is I will only for sure answer questions that I am super chatted. I'll see questions in the chat. My motto kind of look at the likes to viewership ratio and let me know when it's okay to move out of super chat mode, because I can't see. Again, to give you guys some backstory, I am doing live from my back camera because I think the quality is better than doing it from the front, so I can't see the screen like I normally would be able to. So hopefully everything works fine and I'll be able to see the super chats from the screen that I'm on right now. But in order to guarantee your questions get answered, you gotta super chat it. I'll be looking in the chat, and if I see something super interesting, I'll answer it. But in general, a lot of the questions that you guys commonly ask, no matter how interesting you may think your question is, it's answered in the FAQ section in the description of this live. So that's a little bit of information for you. Fun fact, I know this tab is for like pulling it off in general, but I do like holding this when I'm putting the adhesive spray on it, because I think it just helps the bag not completely fall off from the weight, especially if you're changing your bag like I am, where it does have some poop in here. Um, but yeah, I just like doing that. Oh, my light died. I don't know why it's doing that, guys. I don't know. I think some of these like ring light things that are like blowing up and get super popular, they're good for a little while, but after that they stop working. So hopefully it didn't get too dark on y'all. This one wasn't too bad. Like the leakage around it wasn't too bad. It wasn't itching or anything. I just felt it peeling up on the side, and I would rather change it now on the weekend when I don't have to like work and be on the go versus trying to change it during the week. I can do if I can do yoga normally. I actually went to a yoga class maybe about like 1 or 2 months ago. I can do everything physically perfectly fine. Even if you like contact sports and things like that, they have stoma guards, which are basically like little shields to go over your stoma. Yep. It's a stoma. It's called a stoma. This thing right here. It's a little piece of my small intestine pulled through my abdominal wall and then kind of folded back on itself. On average, okay, here's the thing. Especially, it's going to be I'm going to give you guys a little job. It's going to be important now more than ever because I can't see my screen. If you guys see my stoma being active, put it in the chat, okay? Because I have the chat down here, and that's how I look at you guys' questions. Put it in the chat so that I'll know to change out my gauze for a new piece. I'll have to start getting my puppy pads again and putting them like in my pants, so I'm not really worried about it spilling out anywhere. But to kind of segue into like an actual question that I get asked a lot, I don't have control over when I use the restroom when I'm number two. Nobody has control over the way poop moves through their small intestine, so it just comes out whenever it's time for it to come out. So I forget what I was really about to answer. So sorry about that. Again, we are in super chat only mode, so that means the only way, this is just a wound cleanser. The only way to guarantee your question gets answered is if it's super chatted. Hi, everyone that's coming in. And while I have you guys, okay, we are going to set a new subscriber goal. What happens in the subscriber goal, right? So everybody, a lot of people in like the ostomy community, if you're an ostomy in here, comment the name of your stoma. A lot of people in the ostomy community name their stomas. And I haven't named mine yet. I've had mine now for a little bit over a year. I hit a year with my permanent ostomy at the end of May, so about a month ago. And I want to name mine, but since a lot of my followers and subscribers have been a really big part of my IBD journey, especially getting my surgeries, because that's when I started doing content, I want to... Did I get a super chat? Okay, no, I didn't. That was something else. I want to bring you guys along on that journey of just naming my stoma, because I feel like that's my little piece of saying thank you. And at the end of this live, I am going to post on my community tab what our new subscriber goal is. It's going to be anywhere between like 6 and 8K subscribers. Right now I'm at like 4. I don't know if I want to double it because you guys will only get a month to do it. So I don't know if I want to double it. That'll be crazy. But by the end of the live, I'll probably have a number. And if you guys already hit that by the end of this live, that will be absolutely wild. But then I just guess my next live, I'll drop the form for you guys to submit all the names. But basically what happened, I'll set a goal at the end of this live, put it on my community tab. And then once we hit that goal, and if we hit that goal by the end of July, that's the caveat. You guys will only have until the end of July. If we hit that goal by the end of July, then you guys will be able to name my stoma. If we hit it a week into July, I'll drop the form then. But the absolute cutoff date is the end of July. It's going to be anywhere between 6 and 8K. So if you're watching, on my end it says about 800. I don't really know how to see the live viewers. I don't know which number is a live viewer right now, but um, you guys can get a head start. Grab the camera for a Lamar edit, please. I've seen these and I think they're so funny, but I'm not doing it. Let me scroll and see if I see any. Ooh, let's set a goal. Let's set a goal for 10. I'll give you guys 15 minutes. More Q&A. I dropped a goal for y'all. Maud, can you tell me how many people are actively in here right now? Because I want to see on my end what number on my screen is the active number. Okay. So I need my like ratio to look better, or I can't answer questions from the chat, unfortunately. Oop. See? And nobody even told me. This little pink thing is called a stoma. If you're coming in, I don't mind you hanging out, but make sure you like the live. Now I'm just cleaning and making sure I got all of that adhesive from like around my stomach. Again, since we're in super chat only mode and I don't like the way my like ratio looks, last time I checked it was not even 30 likes, but I have over 100 people watching, which is bonkers. So we need to fix that. Once I like the way the ratio looks, I answer questions a little bit more freely in the chat. But until then, the only way to make sure your question is answered is for you to super chat it. And if you already liked, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. I'm just changing my ostomy bag. I ate a little while ago, so that's probably why I'm like pooping right now. Oh, I had to burp. I'm changing. Nope. And just for as like a little refresher, if we have some new people in the chat, I have Crohn's disease. It's a type of inflammatory bowel disease that impacts my GI tract, and for me, my entire colon. It's an autoimmune disease. I don't know if I already said that. But for me, my entire colon was inflamed. And at the time, the medications on the market did not work for me. So I underwent surgical treatment, which was ended up being around 6 or 7 surgeries. And I got a permanent ostomy, which is this little thing, which is a little piece of my small intestine pulled through my abdominal wall. And I got my colon removed, my rectum removed, and my butthole sewn up. If the other side comments, it really just depends on if my camera mirrors itself or not. And because I'm on my back camera, it's possible that it did switch sides. But my ostomy is still on my right side. It just could be because the camera is flipped. Yep, that happens sometimes. Where it looks like it's on the other side. It's not painful. My stoma actually doesn't have any nerve endings. So, I don't feel anything. Surgery is how I got it. Ellie, your question is answered in the description of this video. Thank you, Christy. How did I even get in that situation anyways? I have a chronic illness. No, it can't. It can't turn cancerous. Having inflammatory bowel disease does put you at higher risk of developing cancers of like the colon and things like that. I like your question, Isaac. That's a really good question. I'll answer a part of that because it really doesn't require me to get into too much. I don't typically mind answering it, but I still don't like the way my like ratio looks to how many viewers are in here. So you won't get a long and drawn out answer, unfortunately. But I am studying dramatic writing at New York University, Tisch. Yes, mine is permanent. So no, I'm not pushing it out, and no, I can't feel when anything comes out, unfortunately. Because it doesn't look like you guys are going to get my like ratio to my viewership ratio where it needs to be, I am going to move on. So this may be a quicker live tonight, unfortunately. I am trying to go live every week, so you guys will see me again, especially if you are subbed to my channel, because I always post my lives. If it's a live that I've planned out, sometimes I just go live. But if it's a live that I've planned out, typically I'll post it a couple of hours in advance so that you guys can be cozied up before I go live. But this is just a skin prep wipe, and it's literally just prepping my skin for the new ostomy bag to go on. You don't have to use this wipe. I like it. And that's the thing, Gabriel. I don't think that ostomy should be private. They shouldn't be private. Especially, there was a period in time where, in history, and just the way a lot of medical illnesses have like moved up, as far as a lot of people are now younger being diagnosed with things that was usually more common for older people to be diagnosed with. But I am only 22 and I have to live with an ostomy for the rest of my life. There is no reason why my ostomy should be private, especially when I would have to work overtime to hide my ostomy. Not everybody is going live showing the bag change process, obviously, but I would have to work overtime to hide my ostomy than it is just to exist with one. It's a stoma. That's what's on my stomach, yes. It's a little piece of my small intestine pulled through my abdominal wall. Because it seems like my stoma is going to be a little bit more active today, I don't feel like going through all of that. I am going to switch this out real quick as soon as I feel like my skin is dry enough. And then maybe for a couple of minutes, I can answer some questions in the chat. A question or two. But again, we will be naming my stoma, which is this little pink piece. We will be naming my stoma hopefully by the end of the month, and you guys are going to give me names to do that. At the end of this live on my community tab, I'm going to post the goal. If we hit that goal by the end of July, then you guys will give me a bunch of names for my stoma, and then I'll pick it and let you guys know on another live stream. So if you guys want to see that process, make sure. Mommy, I already said I'm wrapping it up. I already said that. I'll be doing that on my community tab. So if you are subscribed to me, you'll be able to see that. So I highly recommend hitting the subscribe button. It's going to be anywhere between 6 and 8K. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure you're subbed to my channel. But I am going to wrap up. It's going to be a shorter live, unfortunately. You guys did not get the ratio where it needed to be. So I always tell you guys, I give as much as I get. If I am not getting what I feel like should be gave, then I go about my day, which is perfectly fine. It's a Sunday night. You guys can just prepare for your week or something. But yeah. Thank you so much, Yvette. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm fine. I don't need to be healed. But yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed so that you guys, again, will get the information about naming my stoma with me, because I am very excited for that process. If you guys have any questions, go and drop them under my videos. I do respond to questions there. And I think that is all for tonight. Make sure you're listening to your body, being kind to yourself, drinking water. You're doing the best that you can, and you're gonna keep going. It was super fun hanging out with y'all tonight. I'm gonna have to see how I shut this down from here, because I started it from like a different spot. Well, I'm always looking for new ways to kind of like level up the stream. So I did start it a different way, so I have to figure out how to end it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, honestly, which is slightly annoying, but I just have to end it from my actual phone. So yeah, love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, I'll be dropping all that stuff again, hopefully by the end of the night. I'll try to do it as soon as I get off stream, but I need to go sit down because it gets really long and like tiresome standing up here for at least an hour. But yeah, talk to y'all later.